Hey guys, it's Mia, creator of gradrabbit here. So I know with all the craziness of COVID-19 that you guys are probably freaking out. And I did the HSC last year and I know that without this virus I was freaking out as well. So I've created gradrabbit as an online community for you guys to ask questions and me to try my best to answer them as best as possible. And so I've created for my 5 best tips for you guys to get through the HSC, also while getting through the coronavirus. So my first and most important tip is do not catastrophize. Mindset is by far the most important way of dealing with what you're walking into, and I totally underestimated it. I stressed out way too much and I just blew it way out of proportion. Something that my English teacher taught me was do not catastrophize but compartmentalize. Just start doing little things at a time. So she said with my English, just focus on doing this English assignment in that moment. You don't want to start thinking about what's a month ahead or the HSC, which is months away. And also an upside to experiencing the HSC in this global crisis is it can gain a lot of perspective. You can see that maybe a month ago you were thinking about how are you going to do an assessment when you have 2 18ths on one weekend, but now you're thinking about, there's people dying and how you can do social distancing. So I think that my main tip is just have balance. Do not stress, do not worry, just compartmentalize. Alright, so tip 2 is lockdown loopholes. These may be your saving grace when it comes to being in lockdown and cooped up in your house or your bedroom, which I've had to be because at my uni it got shut down and there was corona patients and it was all just a bit of a mess. So I think that my top thing for my top loophole is to get your study space, get your clothes and room and your phone just cleaned out. Just get it so it's just ready for you to go and study because you're going to be spending a lot of time there. It is something that you want the good feng shui. I've just decided to get some nice pillows, put them on my bed, a nice little rug. I've got my fairy lights up here that I put on my bed. Cleaned out my entire wardrobe so it's nice and clean to make it get a little bit more spacey in here. I've got my bookcase that I just redid, and my study area over here, and some nice plants. If you get as many plants as possible, that is great. It makes it feel nice and earthy and fresh in your room. And then your phone. I know that when I look through my phone, I have almost 20,000 photos, and there is just so much in there that I can just delete, clean out, get rid of apps that you don't need. Gosh. So my second thing that I want to talk about is workouts. You're going to have to get used to working out at home. It is something that I used to do during my HSC. It's called Sweat by Kayla Idsteins and Ballet Beautiful. For the guys, it might be something different. But for me, I really love just being able to go down to the garage, put it on my phone, and I'm not a person who works well with gym equipment. It's not really my thing, so I like just being able to do cardio and her showing you exactly what to do, so that's something that I do recommend. Another thing that I want to talk about is comfort. Have some comfort food, eat some ice cream. This can be a really depressing time, so just eat some chocolate and lollies and stuff that makes you feel better, and also movies. This is a great time to just, while you've had a big day of studying or your online school, just watch a movie. Personally, I love Harry Potter. Me and my brother sat today and watched some Harry Potter, and it was just really nice to just de-stress and calm down and clear your head. So my next tip 3, is the IQ secret. So I have got a big secret that I'm letting you guys in, and if you haven't heard it before, it will blow your minds. IQ is not everything. And I through all my HSC, I went into it thinking that I was not smart enough. I was never going to get a 90+ ATAR. I was genetically not blessed with a good IQ. Well, let me tell you, that is absolute crap, because it is not what reality is. Self-motivation will always trump IQ. Now, this is something that really got me through my HSC, because I genuinely didn't think I was smart enough. All my friends were way smarter, and my self-esteem was plummeting because I just knew, I was like, I'm not going to do well because I'm not naturally smart. But I did so many practice papers.
It is all about practice papers.
I got out all my workbooks and my textbooks, and I worked really hard, and I got an ATAR which was far above what I was expecting. So I want to tell you that if you don't have a high IQ, or if you don't think that you're naturally smart enough, it is totally okay, because just work hard, self-motivation, and
practice papers.
Alright, moving on to tip 4. This is setting a realistic study timetable. It is something that a lot of kids struggle with, because I've seen lots of timetables which is like notes, study, paper, revision, all massive blocks in each day, which you will look at it and you will automatically feel that, that's not something I want to do. So setting a good timetable looks like putting in everything you would normally do in a day, and then padding out little sections of study. So for example, my Monday I did choir, I was in a band, and I put, band rehearsals after school. I would put relax for an hour, maybe read a book or spend time with family, and then I would put in revision of module 5 or write out my biology notes. And so you want to be realistic about your time, be realistic about what your extracurriculars are, and the time you need to actually just de-stress and relax before you put in the hard yards. Something that is also important is study notes. Now, you do not want to be writing study notes the night before the exam. This is something that I learned the hard way. I am a person who loves my notes. My biology notes were my pride and joy, and I love doing the highlighters and colours. I'm a very visual learner. But I realised that I would be spending too much time on my notes that I actually didn't factor in the revision and the worksheets and the practice papers.
It is all about practice papers.
I know that these were way more important to my learning than any of my notes would be, because it's not what you remember, it's how you use what you remember. That is the most important thing that I can tell you. So study notes are good, but practice papers are way more important. So during the end of my year, I started realizing this, and so there was a test that I was coming to. It was biology. It was quite a big exam, and I realized that I just had to stop making my notes. It was about 2 weeks before I just stopped, and I moved on to my worksheets and my practice papers, and I just learnt the content as I went. And I can tell you that I did far better than I would if I just studied all my notes, like wrote all my notes up to the exam. So tip, realistic study timetable. Stop writing notes, start doing practice papers. If you don't have enough time, your notes should be done far before then. Guys, so this is my 5th and final tip. It is Z's and P's. So Z's is for sleep and P's is for eating healthy. I cannot express more how important sleep is. It is something that I also learnt the hard way during year 12. It is so important and scientifically proven to get 8 hours of sleep, like at the minimum. I went to bed at about 10:30, 11 at the max when I was in year 12. If I had assignments, I would push that maybe to 12. But going into the early hours of the morning literally does nothing for your health or your retention. For having good sleep, it allows you to absorb lots of information, and it just overall does wonders for how alert you are in class, and like just memorization and lots more. Another thing is eating healthy. I know I said in the lockdown loopholes that you need to have, with coronavirus all around us now, and going into the flu season, going into winter, it is really important that we need to eat healthy. It is something that I think I did pretty well while I was in my HSC. I maintained a pretty good diet. I just ate lots of fruit and vegetables every night. I tried to get lots of water, drink lots of water during the day. The HSC can really get you bogged down. It can really make you tired and sick and not feel great. So eating healthy is really important, and especially... Okay everyone, so I really hope that has helped. That wraps up my 5 top tips with dealing with year 12 and the coronavirus. I know that this is a really sucky time. I really did not enjoy going through the HSC, and I cannot imagine how it must be to do your HSC online as well as worrying about social distancing and all of the new rules that have been put in place. So I really hope that my knowledge has been able to help you guys. I'm going to be giving daily tips over at my Instagram, gradrabbit. I hope that they can somehow help you in a way that this has. Also comment down below for this YouTube if you've got any really pressing questions, and I can answer them as best as I can. Also, which is really exciting, I've got a online course which is close to launching. It is about jumpstarting your Year 12 success. It is what I've learned in 2 years condensed into a 3-hour course. It is all my knowledge that I've racked up from my tutorials, and I've had professionals come in and talk to me about how best to study. I have just my own knowledge and my own tips on the best ways to study, the best, just everything you can imagine to help you during this process. I've tried to put it into this course for you. So everyone, just stay safe, have fun, have a laugh, just be happy amongst all this stress, and it'll really boost your mood and be able to get you through the HSC.